I wanted to make this live stream because I spoke the last live stream I did with Nikolai. I spoke about some stuff, but maybe I was not as clear as I could be in the things that I was speaking about. So, this one thing that I'm gonna speak here about is gonna be the only cause of all your struggle. It's gonna be like in your dating life and in general, everything that you struggle with. And if you manage to master this one thing, just one thing, if you manage to master it, you'll become like superhuman. Literally, people think you're superhuman, and you will think you're superhuman because all the other humans are not able to do what I'm going to speak here about. And that's why it's gonna make you so much different from everybody else. Maybe not everybody will notice, but you will definitely notice that if you understand what I'm gonna speak about here, your whole life is gonna change in ways that you can even comprehend. Like getting girls or dates or whatever it is you wanna get, it's gonna turn into something so much easy, like so much easier than most of us make in our own lives. So first of all, I want to give some context. Um, a lot of I never heard coaches speaking about this thing, and that's always now that makes more sense, a lot more sense to me. It's quite crazy that nobody had these kind of videos or live streams. So a lot of coaches, what they teach you in the dating scene, they teach you on a surface level, they teach you routines, or they teach you technical game, they teach you how to get a girl and use techniques to get a girl. And yeah, I mean, not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these stuff are not useful. Definitely very useful to learn, especially people that are just starting out and they got get into dating or or game or whatever you want to call it. For sure, it's it's very useful to know how to like at least know what to say first, so you can at least put yourself out there, know some techniques, so you at least can like know what's going on, so you're not completely lost, especially in the start. So they're very useful. Don't get me wrong, but I never liked in my life. I never liked to be teaching, coaching people with this surface level stuff because it never really mattered to me. Like, I wanted to go very, very deep. I want to find why why am I struggling so much? Why people struggle so much? Why people suffer so much to get this handled? Why is such an hard thing? Like, why most guys can never get good at this? Why is that happening? And that was always my search. My search was to find out the real causes of your problem when it comes to meeting girls and to have success with girls and with women. And so I went always curious about like my own stuff, my own interactions, what was going on with me, and I came to a conclusion. And bear with me if this happened to you and if you can relate. But if you think about it, like a lot of times you tell yourself that your problem with girls is because your game is not good enough, right? Or you don't have the best routines, or you don't have the best techniques, or you don't not mastered it yet, so you cannot, you don't have the results because of it. And well, to an extent, can be this can be truth. But I want to point out that all your struggles, all the things that hold you back are not external of you, okay? So all the things that stopping you from success are not outside of yourself. So guys like think, okay, I have to trick the girl, I have to use these techniques, because there is an assumption that the solution for your problem with girls is external. So you have to use this technique or this routine in order to get the girl because she's the thing in a way. She's against you somehow, or you have to win the girl over. And so this is a good start, and people get into this from this perspective, and so they think, okay, I have to win girls over, and I have to use these techniques. Otherwise, I can't get with girls. I cannot be successful at this if I don't learn this stuff. And that's a good step to just start out. But the problem, the problem is not that you're looking to, like I said, everyone is looking so much at the surface level, and the surface level is not the problem. The problem is much deeper than the surface level. The problem that makes you have approach anxiety or struggle to escalate or sexualize or take a girl home, this problem is not about your game. So bear with me. Where do you feel your problem? Do you have your problem out there, or do you feel certain sensations in your body whenever you want to approach but you can't? Where is the block? Where is this block whenever you want to escalate or to sexualize or to maybe be a bit more, take risks and get away with being more maybe coming off as a little bit confrontational, or like a lot of guys have the nice guy problem. Where is this problem actually coming from? And you would say like, oh, is this or that, or is because I don't have experience with this, is because I never did this before, or is because I have approach anxiety. And I want to point out that the problem is none of that. The problem is what you feel in your body. Like when you have approach anxiety, you feel something in your body, right? You feel certain sensations, certain emotions, right? Certain emotional blockages. And you can't do it, or you feel a lot of resistance to do it. Any like think about any situation that you were not able to move things forward and make it happen, was always because there was certain sensations then that were in your body that were not allowing you to do it. There was like this invisible wall that you were experiencing. Even already, like a lot of guys think that only approach anxiety, but even I seen all the time with my clients, like even when they are in the interaction, they just have the nice chat, nice conversation, and they think, oh, but I don't know how to sexualize. No, the problem is not that you don't know how to sexualize. The problem is that there is this emotion that seems so real, this block, that doesn't allow you, like, you just feel resistance to say that thing or to do that thing or to escalate or to move things forward because of this emotion. So I want to point out that all your problems in your dating life right now, all your anxieties, everything, it's not external. It's not out there in the world. It's not the girl. The girls are not against you. But it's all about your sensations. It's all about whenever that thing comes up, whenever the moment for you to go approach, or wherever the moment to escalate and move things forward appear, you just feel these sensations running through your body, and then you just feel paralyzed, or you just want to avoid the situation, or you just want to run away. Or a lot of guys, they even they do the approach anyways, or they do the action anyways, but they kind of like push through these emotions, right? They kind of like, okay, I have this, but fuck it, let me discipline myself. Fuck this emotion, I'm gonna do it anyways, right? And that's what I did a long time in my journey. That's what I did because I didn't know how to handle this the best way I could. And so you would say, okay, how do I overcome approach anxiety? Okay, just create a situation where you don't have another option, which is a good thing. That's a good start. And just push through whatever resistance you feel, just go and do it anyways. Which is fine, at least you're taking some action. But this doesn't really solve the problem. The problem is still there. And what you're doing when you just approach and you just push through your these emotional blocks, you actually repressing them. You're repressing these emotions inside your subconscious mind. And so you're not really getting rid of the problem. You're just shoving the problem under the rug. Like, oh, it's okay. I can push through. I have discipline. I'm a fucking warrior. Let's fucking do this. You know, that's a lot of guys' mentality, which is fine. It's a good way to start because you have no idea what's going on within you. Nobody taught you how to handle this advanced, complex system that you have right here. Like this whole thing, it's so complex and advanced. Nobody in school taught you this shit. And so here I am to teach you this. So all your struggles come down to the sensations in your body and the emotions that you feel whenever some situations come up. And so what happens? Usually these things run your life. A lot of the times, let's say a girl walks down the street and you want to approach, but the emotion kicks in, and then what happens? The thought comes, the emotion creates the thought. So a lot of people think that is the girl then creates the thought and then creates the emotion, but usually it's the opposite. The emotion that comes up when the idea of approaching comes, the emotion comes up and then creates the thought, which is rationalize this emotion that you felt, this feeling. And then by rationalizing something that your brain tries to make sense of the situation and tries to create a scenario, a story, like, oh, she's too fat, she's too short, she's going too fast, or whatever your brain wants to create, because it can rationalize anything. Your brain has infinite power to rationalize the craziest thing. Like, you never thought about this? There is people that kill people out there and do some crazy shit, and their brain is able to make them feel like they were right and that made sense to do. So your brain has infinite capacity to rationalize anything. So what's the problem? The real problem? You have these emotions that you are completely unaware of. They are completely like in the background of your system. The emotions are in the background. Most of us are completely unaware what's going on with the emotions. We just respond to them as they come. Like we just are reacting to them as they appear in your awareness. And most of us can't even be aware enough to be like, oh, it's just an emotion. So what happens is people just react to the emotions. So it becomes like like literally a pattern of you like feel emotion, and then this emotion either pulls you to do something, to take some action, or to run away. It's literally the emotion is doing the same thing as the animal in the wild experiences whenever he sees another animal or maybe a predator. He's like it either freezes because he can't run away and then tries to survive that way, or either he just reacts and runs away, or maybe if it's an animal the same size, maybe they'll try to fight. So this is what's happened within you. Like we think we're so advanced creatures, but actually you are not that advanced. You're just an animal. But because you have a bigger brain, you think you're so much more advanced than a fucking monkey. But right now we think our evolution, we evolved a lot as human beings, but actually we didn't get to 1% of what we could be. So you're not that advanced. That's the truth. Just forget about it. We're just animals. We're just monkeys with a little bigger brain. And so this thing happens with you whenever you are in every situation. And so this is what happens with most people. What happens with most people is that they are constantly reacting to their emotions and making decisions in their life. You make decisions in your dating life and whatever just based off emotions, completely not rational, completely illogical. but the mind has that power, the power to make it, try to make it sound like it's logical. So, give an example. Maybe you want to go out today, and the thought comes to your mind like, "Oh, I want to go out." But then, the moment you think about going out, you just feel these sensations in your body, like fear or anxiety or whatever you call it, and then your mind is like, "Oh no, no, maybe tomorrow. I have this to do or that to do. I'm busy with this." And this is how it happens. Like that decision right there, in your mind, you thought was like, yeah, that was logical. That was pretty logical. No, it wasn't. It was just like you reacting to your emotions. And we're not. We don't. I don't want to make the emotions and your mind your enemy, because we have to understand what's the purpose behind your brain and behind your old this system, the emotions and the brain. The only purpose they have is survival. They just want you to stay the same and to maintain you, to keep you as you are right now. That's their only purpose. They don't have any intention to make you happy, to make you have a great dating life, to be successful, to have a lot of sex. They don't care. Like for them, as long as you're masturbating, that counts as sex. So this is what we're playing here. We're playing with a very complex, advanced survival mechanism. That's you are the survival mechanism. That's the key part, is like this battle that a lot of people make about the external and others and the girls, fuck the girls. This battle is only about you versus you, the part of you that wants to keep the same, the part of you that wants to experience great life and change. That is these two parts of you, and they are completely always trying to upper end each other. And and a lot of people, a lot of coaches, they, and including myself in the past, they teach you how to like, okay, I have this stuff, I have these emotions, they want to keep all me the same. No, fuck them. I'm gonna be so committed that no matter what emotions come or what, no matter what they do, i'm I'm gonna approach anyways. I'm gonna do it anyways. And yeah, I mean, it's a initial good way to try to solve the problem, but still it creates a huge fucking battle inside. Like you just all the time, like every time you go out, just have this huge resistance and emotional disbalance, and just like literally a battle inside of yourself. And it's not. That's why it's so hard for most guys to be consistent and go out, because that's all we really need to do. Like you need to be consistent, go out consistently, learn from your mistakes, and just repeat over and over again, and learn and get a mentor. Maybe that'll make it way quicker. And so I want to bring this back to that your mind is not against you, but its only function is survival, and that's where the emotions come in. The emotions are only about survival. And so we run around life, and we think, okay, I'm doing this stuff because blah blah blah, logic. We call it logic. But what I figure out is all this logic that we say that it's logic, most of the time, a lot of the time, it's it's not logical. A lot of these decisions are founded in your emotional state, like depending on where you at emotionally. Like if that day you feel more anxiety, more fear, so you're gonna see fear out there. So you're gonna make decisions, and thought you have thought anxious thoughts. So everything that you're gonna project outwards, you're gonna see it outwards, whatever, however you feel. So this is like a huge thing that the mind and your whole system does, because all your let's say sensory perception, your perception is your feeling, your eyes, your taste, your smelling. They all point outwards for a reason. There's none of them pointing inside, because they are made for survival as well. And so what happens is, whatever state, emotional state, or whatever how you feel in your body will dictate how you perceive things outside. So it's actually like, people might think it's like the thing outside are making this to me, are making this happen. Like I see the girl in the club, and it's so much pressure, like so much pressure, so much people, and social pressure, right? And you feel just terrified and paralyzed. But it's actually not. That's not happening. Those people are not making you experience whatever you are experiencing right now, right in that moment. If you think about it, it's not because of the social pressure. This pressure that you call social pressure and external pressure, it's not external. It's solely created in all your body. Whenever you think about doing that uh, interaction where it's like a big group of people, your body just gets overwhelmed with sensations and emotions, and that's why you get paralyzed, because in your mind's perspective, it's the survival that is at stake. There's this risk of you dying. And I'll get back to dying, what I mean dying, but yeah, some other video. And so this runs through your body, and then you project from your eyeballs, okay, to that thing, to that group of people, you project your inner state of absolute terror. But it's not those people doing that. It's everything is created right here, like right here and in your chest. Everything is here. That's the mind fuck, is that everything you experience in your life, it's all created here. All of it. You never experience nothing out there. Even when someone touches you, you only feel the touch. You don't feel their skin. You feel your own skin. But yeah. So, anyways, so it's just to get back that this is what's happening within you, and this is where the problem has to be solved. Because if you can solve this issue of these sensations that run through your body, and they completely obliterate you, they completely overwhelm you, and you can't do anything, then you have to attack the problem not in the surface. You have to understand the problem at the cause, not like what most coaches I see doing is they're giving you, it's like the medicine, like the doctor gives you a pill. That's the same. It's like, take the pill, okay, it will pass by a little bit and then it will come back. That's it. And then you, even worse, because you take the pill and so now you're addicted to the pill, and so it makes it even worse. So I want to go back to the feeling. That's where everything that you experience in your life comes down to your emotions, to how you handle them, how do you cope with your emotions. And this is the key point I want to make in this video, is that most people, all people pretty much, they have no clue how to cope with their emotions. Okay? So what most people do is this, okay? They completely, happens completely subconsciously. They have no clue that's happening. But what's happening is, okay, they have a certain feeling related with a certain experience, okay? And then either whenever they get to a similar situation, that feeling comes up, either they run away from it, or if the feeling is good associated with that, then they go towards it. That's it. So most people, what's happening is, it's just like a button, like I had a friend that runs a lab with mice. So whenever he clicks the button, a button with serotonin or dopamine, the mice goes and does the thing that is rewarded to do. And whenever he, let's say, imagine he pushes another button which releases cortisol in the mice brain and fear, the mice runs away, right? So this is a very interesting analogy that just came to me. But this is what happening with us. Until we handle the issue at the core, and understanding what the emotions are, and how to handle them, until we get to that point, we're just gonna be like the mice. So we're just gonna be running away from pain and going after pleasure. But if you see what's happening here, it's just a cycle. So you're always in reaction, you're always reacting to what's happening around you. You never center, you never calm because you're always like, okay, fear, run away. Pleasure, okay, let's try it, okay? So that's what we are doing. Subconsciously, we have no clue that's what we're doing. But on a very, very core level, that's what's happening. We avoid pain at all costs and we run about pleasure. And get this in your head. When I say pain and pleasure, I don't say pain and pleasure out there in the world. I mean pain and pleasure in your body. So you avoid certain feelings because they are unpleasant. So you correlate them with pain. And you go after some other feelings that are pleasant, certain emotions or sensations, and that's pleasure. So the pleasure and pain is not about the external world. It's always a mechanism within you that is regulated by your emotions. And what are emotions? The emotions that you experience in your body are the emotions that are connected and attached to your sense of self, your identity. So, whoever you think you are today, your emotions will come up to reinforce to you that you are this person that you think you are, you believe you are, and it creates like a pattern. So, your brain and emotions, they only exist in patterns. So that's why people call it like habits, create habits. But habits is much more than just going to the gym, and this habits is everything. It's a habit because until you bring your unconscious to conscious, a lot of things are happening autopilot within you, and you have zero control over them because they were built these emotional patterns that are connected with the thought patterns, and they are so intertwined that they act in such a smart, such a like profound, intelligent way together that it feels like you are the one making that thing or making that decision or making that move, but they are all going at the same time. And so they come in patterns, and the only way that you can like get yourself rid of a lot of patterns that are happening in your life in dating and other areas is you cannot try to fight these patterns. These patterns that are just wanting to cycle themselves. They just want to keep going. Because as your mind, it's all based on momentum. Your identity is based on momentum. So it has to keep itself going so it maintains. So in any situation that might come across your life that threatens your current sense of identity, that's when you get triggered. People think about triggering. What is triggered? Trigger doesn't need to be triggered with someone in an argument, which is triggered as well. But triggered can be anything that you consciously want to do in your life, but your current identity is not connected with the thing that you want to do. So you get triggered, and that's a mechanism that your mind is making to keeping you the way you are, keeping you alive. So just a little explanation. And so how do we solve this? If you cannot fight these patterns that happen to you every time in all these situations, all these emotions, how can we control these emotions? How do we master these emotions? Because this is really the cure. Because, so listen carefully. If you manage to master your emotions while everybody else lives their life in constant reaction to their emotions and running away from one thing or trying to chase another thing, if you manage to master your emotions, you're no longer in the same rat race like everybody. You now can actually take control of your life and of your dating life. But until the emotions are running in subconsciously in autopilot, you have you have very little control. You can, I mean, you can outrun them or try to willpower through, but it's very hard. I'm telling you, I went through that myself, and it's really really tough to do that. Even the most committed, it's even then, it's fucking tough. So, and I want to bring a side note. Actually, I want to talk about for the guys that are already into game or pick up for a long time and have been doing this for 2, 3, 5 years, whatever, 10 years. You think you beat the game, right? You were able to, even though those emotions came, the approach anxiety, right, came, and you were able to push through them. You think that was you beating the game. But I'll ask you to think about this because I went through it, so I know what I'm talking about. Think about this. You think you beat those emotions, right? And now you're not in those patterns anymore, right? But maybe just think about this. Maybe now that game identity, that pickup identity, took the previous patterns. Now that identity took the new patterns. So now your emotions are controlling you by using the identity of pickup guy or the guy that approaches a lot of girls and gets sex. Now your emotions created a new pattern. You didn't solve the problem. You just ran away from one prison, one pattern, and jumped into another prison. You went from social conditioning to pickup conditioning. So you went to a new prison. So you didn't fucking solve the problem. So now the emotions are controlling you. And maybe if you don't take action, maybe if you don't approach a girl, you just feel bad. Like, fuck, I didn't approach that girl. Like, you feel like always paranoid and having all these thoughts of like, why I'm not approaching all the girls that I see. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, you beat yourself up every time that you don't approach a girl. And that's just a new prison that you created. So you still didn't solve the problem of the emotions. You just create a new prison. So now your new prison is going out and taking action, getting sex. But well, if you feel like that's gonna fulfill you, well, good luck. If you feel like that's gonna help you to really be free, no, that's not freedom. That's just another prison. Well, it's a better prison than the social conditioning prison, but it's not different. It's still a fucking prison. So, how to? If I just want to give this side note because maybe guys that watch this might be in that phase, and so they might relate with what I just said about this new prison that they cannot stay a week without going out, without having being afraid of falling back or not being losing the skills because you lose the momentum and now you think you can't approach again anymore because you stop for a week or a month and you're just terrified. You might relate with this for sure. So you didn't solve the problem. You still didn't solve the problem. So what's this problem? Maybe now I can go down to the nitty gritty of this problem. So these emotions, like I said before, they just want you to maintain the same, right? And they will hit you every time to try to fight whatever thing you try to change. And you might like resist them, like fuck, why do I feel like this? Why can I not just be free? Fuck these emotions, and just try to battle those emotions and repress them or whatever you may be doing or beating yourself up for those emotions. But we don't want to demonize these emotions. We don't want to make them the devil because your mind, without your mind, this ability and these emotions, you wouldn't be here because they are the ones that make sure that you don't go insane and you keep yourself together, homeostasis. They want to keep your homeostasis. So maybe if some of you took psychedelics, let's say, and let's say you went to these altered states of consciousness, right? But if you didn't have your brain and your emotions, you could have drift off forever in these altered states and you never would come back to your regular conscious state. So that's this is a way of your system to guarantee that you survive. So it's a very useful, in a way it's very useful. The main thing here is that we we think we are so intelligent as humans, and therefore we think we're so much more developed than others, the other creatures in this planet, and this creates a problem because we overvalue ourselves, and actually you're not that advanced yourself. And because what happens is because our intellect and our organism is so developed that it actually works, most of the times ends up working against itself because it's so complex. This system, this organism is so complex, so developed, that because you were not taught how to use it to maximize your potential, to make you the best version of yourself, right? You were not taught anywhere how to use it. You end up using, this organism ends up using it against itself to, in a very self-destructive manner. That's why society is so self-destructive and creates a lot of issues. Human beings create a lot of issues for themselves because that's the system was, we're not taught how to use this system, and then it just creates mayhem within ourselves. Like people kill themselves, depression, guys can never get good with girls because we don't understand what's going on inside. And our mind is such a conceptual thing, like creates all kinds of concepts, and it likes to label and give meaning to all everything. Yeah, if you think about this, what I'm going to say is that your mind likes to give meaning. That's how the mind created your reality. It gave meaning to things around you. You had to create some sense of like what is real, what is bad, what is good, what is this, what is that. So it constructed this sense out of those interpretations and meanings that it projected into things. And this is a problem because the mind then, what it does is like it's gonna project the same thing onto your emotions. So it's gonna give all kinds of meanings like, oh, I feel shame, or I feel guilt, I feel approach anxiety. That's a big one. Like that's like ego, the collective ego of the pickup community created this phantom of approach anxiety. It's still a concept, and I'll explain why it's a concept. So you experience all these things and you give them meanings like, oh, I'm experiencing grief, I'm feel sorry, I'm depressed. Or like anything that you think about, it gives meaning to this feeling. But look deeply. What is that you feel? Does it have any meaning? Like, it's just not like a sensation in your body, isn't it? Why? That's the key, because you already had these underlying assumptions about these concepts about approach anxiety, what it is, how it affects you, and how you're sorry for yourself, and always I cannot escalate, I cannot sexualize, I don't know how to make things happen, to move things forward. But it's just sensations in the body. So how do we reverse this problem? Because you have been conditioned right now since you were very, very like a child. Your mind was conditioned to give meaning to all feelings, all sensations, and it just wants to feel the good ones, the pleasant good ones, and wants to avoid at all costs the bad ones, the unpleasant ones. And so it's been for a long time. So every time you feel certain emotions, maybe you resist them. Maybe you're like, fuck, why am I feeling so shitty? Or maybe you run away from them, like you distract yourself whenever you feel certain sensation. Maybe you This is where addiction comes from. People ask me about addiction. Where is addiction comes from? It comes from you running away from this unpleasant sensations because let's say you feel certain thing in your body, you don't know how to handle it, how you feel, so you just go and be compulsive about some other thing that might give you that you think will give you pleasure, maybe even sex, porn, anything really, like the phone, anything that allows you to escape yourself, to escape how you feel in that moment. You do it. You don't even are aware of that's why you're doing it, but that's the reason you're escaping those feelings. And until you will escape, you can, like, humans will find all things, kind of things to escape feelings in the body, like all kinds crazy shit. People find ways to escape themselves because they just are so trained to run away from this sensation that they're so unconscious to them that they just think, oh, this is just the way I am, this is just the way I do things, this is not a problem. You know, they're just so used to repress and resist all your feelings and emotions that you just do it like autopilot, like straight up autopilot. You just run around like autopilot. Literally, people are just robots. You there, you are a robot. You're just a robot. They put you programmed yourself, and then you forgot about the programming. That's literally what happened. Like you are a fucking robot. You're not even you're so unaware. This is the key point. You are a robot, but you think you're not. And that's the trick. The mind plays this trick. It gives you this sense of, yeah, I'm not. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm doing this stuff because of this and this and this. But you're just a robot playing on autopilot. And if you think about it, like all the thoughts, emotions, feelings, everything is just repeating every day. Just repeat them autopilot. So I want to get down to the answer. So how do we solve the problem? Is simple. If you got to the end, probably not. But if you got to the end, this is the simple answer to your problem. The problem is that your mind is trying to give meaning to your feelings. So whenever some sensation comes up, you are not able to experiencing this sensation fully in your body. You're not able. You it just projects the oh, I'm feeling this, let me escape it, let me run away, let me repress it, let me resist it. So now the only way to overcome this is by shifting the momentum that your mind right now has. You have to shift the pendulum, and so you have to recondition your mind to not give a meaning, good or bad, to your feelings and sensations in your body. You have to recondition your mind to remove all meaning from what you feel and just see it for what really is. When you feel it, just see it for what actually is. And when you are able to actually just observe what you're feeling without reacting to it, without escaping, without resisting, when you're able to do this, now you can just let those sensations come, be expressed, and then processed, and then eventually they will go. They will disappear, they will disintegrate. And this is how you start becoming free. Because when you open yourself now to feeling everything, you don't judge the feelings that you feel, just completely open to them. Now, even if it's unpleasant, you are able to experience it, and eventually it disintegrates. You no longer are fighting it or resisting it or shoving it in the subconscious mind. You're just letting it do its job, because the emotions were always there to do their jobs, but you were the one getting in the way, because your mind was getting in the way, your intellect was getting in the way of this process. And if you open yourself more and more and more, then basically you will become a conductor of these sensations. So actually I can point out that these are not emotions, these are not feelings, sensations, anything. They're just energy. And the energy that's you are made of energy, and the energy has to run through you. Okay? and it has been blocked because the if you think about yourself as like you have been putting these gates around this against this energy that wants to circulate through your body, but you have been resisting it and putting them in your subconscious so much that you're just locked in. And now the exercise to do is start practicing with some meditation, removing the meaning good or bad from these feelings, removing the meaning of what they are, whatever comes to you, whatever label you think they are. And whenever you remove these feelings, now you can allow yourself to feel them because you don't label them and fight them anymore. And then slowly you can like open yourself, and then this you can circulate the energy. And now whenever you go out and you see a girl and you feel that energy coming through your body, you don't freak out. You just allow this energy to circulate, and now you can do whatever you want. Now you're fucking really free. That's real freedom. This is like human superpower. I don't know who rejoined, but if you listen to this again, if you master this one thing of handling your emotions, you become superhuman because every other human is doing this subconsciously. And if you learn how to handle and cope with this in a healthy way yourself, you become a superhuman. You become godlike human because nobody, like most people, 99.9% of the people never realize this, never realize. And if you do so, this is how you solve all your problems. All the problems that you think that you have, this is the real cause of your problems. Your emotions are the only cause of all your problems. And if you master this, you have no problems. You can do whatever you want. You can be free. You can be free. And yeah, that's what I'm experiencing right now. So I wanted to share with you. Maybe some of you will be like, the fuck is this start talking about? Maybe you will not understand or relate. But yeah, you're just not aware of it, bro. And maybe your ego doesn't want to be aware of it because that will be painful for you. But what do you prefer? You want to keep the ego, or you want to fucking be free? Because I mean, you can only choose one. If you want to be angry and keep that ego, fuck you. I want my ego. Fuck you, bitch. Then yeah, just do that. But if you really want to be free and have an amazing experience of life, then yeah, then I can help you. I can help you with this. I've been coaching with different mentors before, and I've been creating my own process to really help you to master your emotions and really become your own master and not a puppet of your emotions. Become the master of your emotions, not being completely run by them. So yeah, in the future I'm definitely gonna release meditation practice to really handle this problem, and really free yourself from your own cages. So yeah, I don't know who's still watching. If you wanna ask anything, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to end the live stream here. I think I said a lot of things I wanted to say. I didn't forget. I didn't forget anything, I think. So yeah, feel free to comment down below if you relate to this. What's your experience with this? And if you comment emotion in the comment down section below, I'll be glad to do like a free call to you where I'm going to go push you show you through a process where you will not just understand what I said here, you actually experience it. I think in the end that experience is what allows you to understand, because what I just spoke here was just concepts, but going through the process yourself, you can really feel the difference. So yeah, pretty much an hour time. So I hope you enjoyed. This is probably gonna be on YouTube as well. So Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and whoop, see you next time.